MMA is a tough and punishing sport, and as a result, it has produced many legendary fighters. Throughout the 30-plus year history of MMA, many fighters have tested their skills inside the octagon. While not all fighters go on to have successful careers, there have been a few fighters who have risen above the rest. Ranking the best MMA fighters is extremely subjective, but some fighters are clearly superior to their peers. Opinions will differ, but it is possible to give these fighters some sort of rank. In this video, we take a look at the 10 best fighters in the sport's history. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. Before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Number 10. Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva is the best name on the list of UFC middleweight rankings in the history of the competition. His style was awkward and tricky, but very few fighters were able to defeat his master of boxing, taekwondo kicks, elbows, and footwork. Silva has never been the greatest trash talker in the world, but he scored great knockout wins over Forrest Griffin, Yushin Okami, Victor Belfort, James Irvin, and many other high-level names. Unfortunately, the former middleweight champ was knocked out due to his cocky attitude to Chris Weidman at UFC 162, then broke his leg when Chris checked a low kick at UFC 168. Unfortunately, Silva has never been the same after that loss. Now he competes in boxing. The Spider is the most dominant southpaw fighter that has ever participated in UFC. His front kick knockout against Vitor Belfort is still one of the nicest knockouts ever. Number 9. KHABIB Nurmagomedov. KHABIB Nurmagomedov might not be among the longest reigning world champions in the UFC, but he surely makes a name when it comes to being amongst the most dominant world champions in UFC history. Officially, KHABIB has only ever lost 2 rounds. No elite fighter has looked elite when he stepped into the octagon against the Eagle. Had KHABIB fought any longer, he might have made a name for being the undisputed GOAT. But with only 3 title defenses, it is not enough to be the undisputed greatest UFC fighter of all time. After beating Al Iaquinta for the belt at UFC 223, KHABIB defeated Conor McGregor and went on to defend against Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje. Following the death of his father and trainer, Adumanap Nurmagomedov, KHABIB announced his retirement with a perfect record after his bout with Gaethje. Number 8. Amanda Nunes. Nunes is widely regarded as the greatest woman of all time, and you'll find few who will be able to make a logical argument against that tag. The Brazilian's career started with a loss in 2008, but she quickly bounced back to enjoy a 6-fight winning streak. Her UFC debut came in 2013 when Nunes earned a TKO win over Sheila Gaff just 2 minutes and 8 seconds into round 1. The Lioness won the UFC Women's Bantamweight belt courtesy of a submission victory over Miesha Tate in 2016 before becoming a 2-weight champion after claiming the featherweight strap 2 years later. She made 5 successful defenses of her bantamweight belt before losing to Juliana Pena last time out, while she remains in control of the featherweight gold after defeating challengers like Felicia Spencer and Megan Anderson. Number 7. Daniel Cormier. Daniel Ryan Cormier is one name that is well renowned among wrestling fans and UFC fanatics. Before making his name as an MMA fighter, he was a professional wrestler. The former wrestler is an Olympic semifinalist and 6-time USA Senior National Championship winner. The MMA fighter career started early on from his high school days. During his time in high school, he managed to win 3 Louisiana State Championship titles in wrestling. He had an outstanding record in high school, winning more than 100 fights and losing only 9. While this might come as a surprise for a lot of fans, but little did you know that the former Olympian was also an all-state football player. He played in the linebacker position. Also, he declined the offer to play football to pursue his passion for wrestling. The mixed martial artist earned fame after joining UFC. He also holds the record of winning 2 UFC titles in different weight divisions simultaneously and successfully defending both titles. The retired wrestler and MMA fighter has won the Extreme MMA Heavyweight Championship as well. Number 6. Stipe Miocic. No other heavyweight in UFC's history had successfully defended the belt 3 times in a row until Stipe Miocic arrived. Not only has the two-time heavyweight champion defeated his opponents, but he's also completely dominated them. As a result, MIOCIC is the baddest man on the planet, who can not only put his competitors to sleep with his unbelievable punching power, but can also out-wrestle them on the mat. Therefore, due to this lethal combination, Stipe is now one of the UFC's heavyweight champion and face. Furthermore, the UFC's heavyweight champ also works as a part-time firefighter during his free time and plans to do the job full-time after his retirement. Number 5. FEDOR Emelianenko. Some 22 years after his pro debut in Russia, the last emperor is still going at 45. Emelianenko was 4th on the bill that night in 2000, but will go down alongside KHABIB NURMAGOMEDOV as the greatest fighter in Russia's history. Emelianenko has 46 bouts to his name, 6 losses, and a no contest. His first defeat came in his 5th fight against Tsuyoshi Kosaka in 2000, but was considered as many a wrongly ruled TKO and should have been a no contest due to an illegal elbow from Kosaka. The next loss came 10 years later as Emelianenko won 27 of 28 fights with no contest against Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira in 2004. Number 4. Demetrious Johnson. Johnson joined the UFC in 2011 with a 12-1 record, and after winning his first 2 fights with the company, he earned a shot at the bantamweight title. Mighty Mouse suffered a unanimous decision loss to Dominic Cruz, but the glory wasn't too far down the line. The American won the flyweight belt at UFC 152 in 2012, and he went on to break the record for the most successful defenses, retaining his championship status on 11 occasions. He lost the belt to Henry Cejudo 6 years after becoming the champion, and left the UFC to compete in the ONE Championship before retiring in 2021. Number 3. Max Holloway. Don't make the mistake and leave Holloway out of any GOAT conversations. He has the kinds of victims in Aldo twice, Brian Ortega, Anthony Pettis, Charles Oliveira, and Frankie Edgar that bolstered his resume. Plus, he arguably did enough to defeat Alexander Volkanovski in their rematch before suffering the controversial split decision loss. His masterclass spanking of Calvin Kattar and unanimous decision over Yair Rodriguez this year shows how Holloway remains a key threat with his pinpoint, relentless striking. One of the GOATs for sure. Number 2. Georges St-Pierre. Georges St-Pierre is widely regarded as the best fighter of all time in the welterweight division. In this class, he has defended his title 9 times, losing only to 2 opponents throughout the course of his career. St-Pierre is perhaps best known for his controversial victory against Johnny Hendricks, the fight that was his last before retiring. The fight proved difficult to score, with judges divided in their decision, although both fighters were incredibly well matched. Before we reveal our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions in no particular order. Royce Gracie, Randy Couture, Kasi Sakuraba, Dan Henderson, Matt Hughes, Jose Aldo, and Conor McGregor. Not the greatest, but definitely the most notorious. If he can retool enough to notch more significant wins, McGregor will add to his legacy. Number 1. Jon Jones. Jones' lone defeat came via disqualification in a 2009 fight he was dominating. To date, Jones has racked up 26 wins inside the octagon against some of the best light heavyweight fighters of all time. 8 of those 26 wins are against men that have held major MMA championships during their careers. 6 of these individuals had UFC gold, and in 5 of those fights against championship-level competition, Bones ended his foes' nights early. Not only has he accumulated a record that is unheard of in the sport, and did so against luminaries of the time, but in 71% of his octagon appearances, he had the added pressure of a UFC title being on the line. Also, if current champions like Kamaru Usman and Israel Adesanya were to continue their dominance in the sport and add Champ to their resume, they could move up in the pecking order and surpass Jones in the best ever discourse. Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.